All right. Good morning from Costa Rica, Mexico. Today we're on our way to work right now. We're going to TJ to go do a little roofing job, and I'm here with my friend Ruben, who's been deported for 11 years now, right?
11 years, that's correct.
Yes, it's been a minute. So I just wanted to do a little interview and ask him some questions to hear his thoughts on if you're in Mexico, what his experience been like, and then also on Facebook, I saw a post where this guy he was pouring his heart out, right, and saying like he can't get used to Mexico, he can't get accustomed to here, and yeah, basically just pouring his heart out, right, and it pulled my heartstrings, and I'm gonna write a comment to him, and like encourage him, like don't give up, don't let all the circumstances put you down, like
Yeah.
I've been here 7 years and I myself can't get used to it, but anyways, I was scrolling through the comments real quick, and then I started seeing some comments saying, "Man up, stop crying, stop complaining, get over it."
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, like what do you mean? Like this is how this man feels. Like he's putting his heart out there on this post. So how can you tell him how to feel if that's how he truly feels?
Right.
And he's putting it out there for to seeking some help, some guidance on his situation. And then on top of that, he got divorced too. So you know what I mean? Like being deported, ripped out of your home country where you grew up,
Yeah.
and then being divorced too is just like that. Those are just two big burdens he's carrying on his back, right? And so it was just I kind of want to dive into that. Like,
Right.
what has it been? What has been your experience these last 11 years for
Well,
you?
pretty much like you're saying, with that person that was, giving his testimony on his experience and everything that, he left behind and the hardships he's been going through and everything. It's like we pretty much, I guess, all go through the same thing, and some people might feel different or just have different feelings. I feel like I lost part of my life or
Mm,
almost all my life, you know,
right.
being deported. I don't blame nobody for it. It's just my actions that
Yeah.
brought me to where I'm at, and no matter how I feel or whatever, I have to continue because I have a family here now that counts on me, and the few people that I have met that been in this situation like us, pretty much they have the same way of thinking. That they go through a lot of rough times because even though they're from, some from TJ, others from Mexico City, like myself, and just different parts of Mexico,
Mm,
it's not easy for neither one of us to get over things like that so quick. It's like me. I've been here, I think, almost 11 years or going on 11 years, and I still, it's like I see it like if it happened yesterday. Even though I'm getting or trying to get more accustomed to how things go on here
mm,
than in the States, because it's a lot of things is just not even close, but
yeah.
it's still my home country, and I gotta learn to deal with every day that goes by, and just deal with the things that I gotta deal with and continue, and you gotta just change the way of thinking and really stop thinking about the States, because
Right.
it's not gonna really help. It's just gonna like
Bring you down more.
keep bringing you down more and more, and it just. But I don't think it will ever be the same for people that are in
Right.
our situation, especially when,
So
like us, we were so young when we were taken to the States, and all we knew was just the States, going to school and everything else.
right. If
Then,
I was to tell you that, just
yeah,
get over it.
yeah.
What would you tell that person?
Well, first of all, I would, just make them understand, that they're not in my shoes. It's not their fault, but everybody has their opinion. If you lived it yourself, you would understand. But if you haven't, it's you have to give them words of encouragement, and instead of like trying to put them down, because you ain't gonna help them that way.
Right.
And if I think if you can't do that, it's just best to let them be.
That person that tells you that, just get over it. I got over it, and I've been here 5 years.
So I would probably try to like say, hey, how did you do it? Maybe
Give me some
Yeah,
advice.
yeah, maybe some, yeah,
I want to be in your
advice,
position.
right? Where it could help me just like say, man, if I would have known this before, I could, been way better or had a different way of thinking if I would have known that before. Because we don't know everything, it's like it's a learning experience every day.
Yeah. What do you say after 11 years or almost 11? You, would you say that Mexico feels like home to you now?
Uh, no, if I would say that, I would be lying because I like till this day, like I was saying, I just don't feel comfortable. Maybe people are gonna say probably have bad comments, but like I was saying before, they're not in my shoes, and living for so many years in the States, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I know that people that have been in that situation like me, most of them will understand
Okay.
what I'm trying to say or how I feel, But what I know that has helped me a lot is that I met my children's mom out here, my new partner, and
Hmm.
that has helped me a lot,
Yeah.
because before I just things were like very hard,
Okay.
and I know that has helped me a lot with a lot of different things.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so same here with me. I've been here almost 7 years, and yeah, I'm in the same shoes as you, the same boat, and it doesn't. It gets easier, I guess, but it's not the same. It's not home.
Yeah.
It's not what you're used to, and yeah, so that's interesting to hear your perspective on that, because I hear a lot of people saying that they're doing great here. They're doing better than they feel more at home here than where they were at before. And and to those people, I say I'm happy for you. I wish I could be there. I wish I could say that this feels like home now, but I would be lying, like you said, if I was to say yeah, if I feel great here, because that's not the reality of things for myself.
Right.
What do you think has been the hardest thing about being deported that people might not understand?
Well, for me, and I guess for anybody else, if you love your family, that's one of the hardest things. When I lost my father, it's something that I can't explain with words. Losing him and not even being able to be there. Just getting a phone call and saying, "Hey, your dad's sick, and this is going on, and not gonna be here for too much longer."
Wow.
And
Mm.
those are what's been like the hardest for me. Losing my dad,
Wow.
my wife that from the States, not being able to see my kids that are in the States. I'm glad that they're doing the right thing and everything else, but it's always hard not being able to hug them and see them as often as I would like to, but
Right.
it's just how I feel, and it's not that I'm complaining or I want people to feel sorry for me. It's not that, I think
Yeah.
that anybody that goes through that knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and they're gonna feel most likely the same way I feel.
Yeah. And what about like making friends and work? Or making friends? How has that been for you?
It's not that I'm scared or I just haven't like really want to engage with too many people.
Mm. And
So
what about work? How has that been for you?
work, it's been like a little hard at times for me, but and just meeting like meeting you, Jonathan, that was like one of the greatest blessings I think I've ever had since I've been here, because us clicking up, and we just like clicked when we first met,
The
and
swap meet.
then yeah, at the tianguis, yeah,
The Yankees,
and
yeah.
then you mentioning like the word of God to me, and then when you hit me up for the work, if I could like help and all that stuff, all of that has been a big blessing for me, and
Praise God.
a great help. I'm really grateful for that, and God put you on my path, and things happen for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Praise God for that. Thank you for sharing that. And what about like the language? How have you gotten used to speaking Spanish and all that? Did you speak good Spanish before you got deported?
Yeah, I've always able to speak, good Spanish, read Spanish. It's
Good
never been
Spanish.
like a problem.
So did you speak it back at home where you were at?
Most of the
Like,
time, with just with my, my parents and even my kids, but with
oh,
my,
okay.
it was mostly with my parents and my wife.
Yeah.
And with my kids, like everybody else, I guess, you're like they say, you use Spanglish. You're
Spanglish, that's
speaking
right.
Spanish, and then you switch it to English and like that.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna ask you a deep question now.
Okay.
All right, it says, do you think people who haven't been through deportation can really understand this whole deportation process?
Uh, yeah, but, there's some things that they can probably understand, but it will never be the same when you're actually living it. If you haven't like really been in somebody's position like me or yourself, it's I don't think we could like really speak too much or get into too much detail on the things that we have gone through.
Do you think deportation has gotten easier over the years for you?
Yeah, I would say in a way, yes. The only thing that I had mentioned that it was hard on me when my dad and my wife passed away. That's been one of the hardest things that I had to endure.
Yeah.
And everything else, it's not easy. I just thank God for giving me the strength to continue wherever I might be at, and maybe that it was just his plan for me, and I just have to keep going, not give up. Especially like I was saying, I have a family, a new family, so I have to be there for them. They count on me, and I just gotta do whatever's in me to continue, and with God's blessings, and
So we were talking about the guy about in the Facebook post, right? That he's pouring his heart out. He feels like he doesn't belong at times, and or most of the time, and then people are bashing him. So what would you tell that person on Facebook?
what I would say is just not to really pay too much mind to that. Even though I know it's not easy, just continue. If God has a purpose for you, and especially if you still have loved ones in the States, they want to see you do good. And as much as we want to go back, it's the same with them. Myself, I don't want to make things harder on my family. There's a whole bunch of more things that
Yeah,
that I would like
to
to
say.
say, but it's
Yeah, we only have so much time. We could speak
yeah, and
for
and
days, right?
sometimes you start thinking like later on and like, oh, I should have mentioned this, or
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but don't trip. Maybe we could make some more interviews like this, because yeah,
right,
just like
yeah,
you said, later you're like, oh, I wish I could have said that,
right,
or I want to share this or something like that. Yeah, but there's time for everything, right?
right, yeah,
But right now I'm speaking to the viewers right now. Uh, the questions that I'm asking Ruben, I want you guys to ask yourself these questions as well, especially if you've been deported. Let us know in the comments. Like, as I'm asking Ruben the questions, answer those questions if you can in the comments, so people can see all these different perspectives. Because some people, like I said, some people are gonna say, "Well, in my situation, I'm doing great. This feels like home. This is what I was missing, what I was longing for, and now I got it. And Mexico's been great to me, and praise God." And other people might agree with what we're saying, and yeah, and maybe even some people might have it even worse than us.
right, yeah,
Like I know I've seen a deported person living over there in the TJ Canal,
right,
and he was telling me he has two little girls, and man, that just broke my heart. Like, he's living there in the TJ Canal, and like, obviously this his decisions is that what brought him to the TJ Canal, but regardless, though, it's heartbreaking to think of those little girls too.
yeah,
Growing up without their dad, and now their dad is in the canal. And so yeah, so when I think on those things, I become even much more grateful for the little that I do have, that God has blessed me with. So I praise God for the blessings, even through the annoying tribulations. Dealing with funny customers like we dealt with and all that. But like, that's just what it is. It's not a perfect world out here. So to me, so with that said, I encourage you guys as the viewers, drop a comment, ask yourself these questions. How do you feel? How has Mexico been to you? However long you've been out here. And we're up here on the rooftop. We're gonna do some waterproofing, leak repair stuff. So all these cracks here, we're thinking water's getting in there because in these two rooms, right below here, where's the windows at? Oh, there they are. One, and then two down there. In those rooms, the water's getting in. But I think the main culprit are these two right here. So I don't know if the camera picks that up, but look at those big gaps, especially on top. It's not waterproof. And you can see there's a crack already forming right there. It's going down. So we're gonna waterproof those. And then also, this one looks like the worst. And it looks like the worst damage is on the bottom of this outlet. And yeah, that thing looks really bad. Needs to be waterproof. And then check out these cracks right up here. This one I just took it off right now, but look at that. Yeah, if I can stick a screwdriver in there, I'm sure it'll just start coming off. And right here, so you got some huge cracks. All along the wall you got cracks. So with all that said, we're gonna seal all the top of the wall. And then what else do we need to do? I think this light, we're gonna have to remove it because the customer's saying it doesn't even work. So just remove it. Oh, they got light bulbs, but maybe the sensor went out. I'm not here for electrical, so I'll just probably seal around it. And I think there was another hole. Let's check out this one though. Everything's all flaking off. So I'm gonna scrape all of this off too, because the water is that's just the way for water to pull up along all those ridges. And I think there was another hole somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. And there's a pup. But yeah, that's what we got going on for today. So let's get to it before the sun comes out. Where's the sun at? Oh, it's right up there. There it is. And this is what we got going on. Got my bucket here with my trowel, and we're filling in this hole. Already got half of it done. We're way up here, and I'm sweating like crazy. It's super humid out here. I'm grateful that the sun is not out, but it's still hot. And I'm over having to balance because the ladder is not that long, and since it's way up here, yeah, it's all bad. But anywho, we got that light to cover up, that one right there. And then way back there, I don't know if y'all see that, I hadn't seen when I got here the first time to check out the job. I hadn't seen that before. The box way back there in the corner, and we got to cover that up because water could be getting in there as well. Water's super tricky. So yeah, that's what we got going on here. And we're back. Just got done from work. It was a pretty humid day. Thankfully, there was no sun out. It was pretty cloudy, but it was just humid. But I think with the sun, we would have got burned. Yeah, because we were straight on the rooftop doing some roof repair. So yeah. But with that said, I think we're pretty much at the end of it, and I think me and Ruben were just talking right now, and with all of this like deportation stuff and people's experiences after getting deported out here to Mexico. Everybody has a different perspective. There's no right or wrong answer, because some people are going to say they love it, other people say they can't get adjusted, other people say they're trying to get adjusted, some people just can't wait to go jump the border again, or just go back because they just can't handle it. And so yeah, so many different ideas, so many different perspectives, and yeah, and then but then at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair or right for people to go bash somebody because of their perspective, like the way they think. Obviously, if it's now to do something illegal or something like that, then yeah, you can't call that person out and tell them, hey, when you're doing that, that's wrong. But if that's how they feel emotionally, then who are we to go and try to correct that person's feelings or emotions that they're going through in that situation. So anything you wanted to add onto that, Ruben?
Well, I would just say that we should just hear like people out, and if anything, give them words of wisdom, and from our experiences, especially for someone that probably recently got deported, or hasn't been here for too long like us. That's what I would do, just try to encourage them, not to give up. There's always hope, and yeah, just continue, because it's like our families, even though that'll never be the same. They're whoever has family is still in the States. Some people, their families can't come over and visit them, and some can, and
Right.
some can, but they just can't be coming over that often. It's just different circumstances, but besides all of that, you have to continue with your life, and especially if you have your family with you out here, that maybe they came over with you and they decided to live out here with you, or if not, you still have to keep going for your own self, 'cause, God has a purpose for us, and we're here. He put us here for a reason. There's always hope for something, it might seem impossible sometimes, but just remember that there's always someone in a worse position than us.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's it's always gonna be there, not just because we say it, but it's a fact,
Yeah.
because I've seen it my own self, the times I lived here in Tijuana, Rosarito, wherever I've been, I've seen it with my own eyes. That has helped me a lot too, not to complain so much, just
What's your favorite saying out here?
yeah, don't complain.
Welcome to Mexico.
Yeah, welcome to Mexico, and don't complain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a saying that I think Ruben has come up with in the conversations we've had, because that's just kind of like, there's things here in Mexico that that we might not be used to, and it's just like, welcome to Mexico, don't complain. It is what it is. And I'm sure Ruben, he's got plenty of stories to affirm that saying, like, yeah. So it's just it's funny, but then at the same time, that's just the reality of things out here. That we just got to go along. You know what I mean? Like, that's just this is life, And for some reason, like Ruben saying, for some reason, God has us here for one reason or another. Only God knows why all of these things happen. So I had said that I had met that person that lived over there in the TJ Canal.
right, yeah, we both seen that, with our own eyes. Nobody has said, oh, you know what, this is going on over there. I've been there,
Oh, you've been there too.
I've seen people, and
yeah, man,
met people, and just try to give them words of encouragement.
Right.
Not like tell them, oh, well, look at you, why ain't you doing this? Why ain't you doing that? Not like that, because if I don't think I would help someone, or just like putting them down, and instead of lifting up and telling them that it's not over for them, just put your mind to it and don't give up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so for those that are being deported, or family members going through it, just at the end of the day, my biggest encouragement to you is to look unto Christ, look unto God. He's the only one that can give you that peace above all understanding. And I can tell you that firsthand, that after God saved me, my life has not been perfect after. I can't say, go turn to Christ and your life will be perfect, because I'd be lying if I was to say that. But He will give you that peace, that contentment that this world can't give you, no matter what your situation is. No matter if you're out here in Mexico, deported, struggling, can't even speak the language, like, He just give you that peace and that comfort, knowing that He's in control, and the situation you're going through, it's in His plans, and He's in control. So He's guiding you. He's gonna guide you in that whatever tough battle that you're going through in your life. And then again, like I say, this is just our opinions. There's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's gonna have different opinions. Everybody's gonna look at it in different ways. And at the end of the day, I hope one day I can get to that point where I'm like, I love Mexico. I would never trade this for the world. If this is what God has for me to my last days, then I'm gonna be content with that. And yeah, that's just my biggest encouragement to you, to look unto Christ. He's the one that's gonna give you that peace and that contentment if you're not happy in the situation that you're going through, or in the situation you're in. And then one more thing that I like to add, that this isn't a video about us complaining or so you guys can feel sorry for us. It's just, we're just having an honest conversation. And honestly, I wish a lot of people would have these type of conversations with me, because it seems like everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of the people that I see that make content, they might truly be happy, and if they are, that's great. But I feel like there's a saying, and I'm sure you heard it, Ruben, fake it till you make it. And I think if you keep repeating something in your life that you're not happy with for some reason, there's an idea going out there that if you say that you love it so much, eventually I think you will trick your brain into thinking that you love that thing. But I mean, if it works for them, then I guess, I mean, who am I to knock them, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that a lot of people do struggle out here in Mexico, and I mean, that's just been my experience. I struggle out here, and I mean, Ruben, he's got his testimony. This is his own experiences. So yeah. So we're not out here trying to complain or have you feel sorry for us. We're just having a conversation and just sharing how our perspectives on deportation and what our experiences have been out here. Well, specifically Ruben's today's videos, what we've been talking about.
Oh, and one more thing I just wanted to add real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I say this not to put nobody down, but like us, we're lucky, and thank God that it's like we don't drink, we don't have no drug addictions, and I know that helps us a lot, even more, because I know people personally that that has had those problems or still has them. And that's even like, I don't know how many times worse, because it's like they have family in the States, and their families, worry, who knows how many times more than our families, not easy, that when somebody has whatever addiction it might be, I'm not nobody to judge anybody, but, I know it's just twice as hard, for them, and especially if they're in this situation like us. They might just want to give up and continue just in their addictions, and that's why it's always good to share with somebody you feel comfortable with. Share your stories, whatever you're hurting, or it's good to bring it out. Like I did when I met Jonathan. There was a point that I just told him a few things that I had to take off my chest. That I know that pretty much he was familiar with a lot of things, going through his things too, and we pretty much understand each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
that's good to let it out, because bottling all those emotions, sometimes it does you more harm than good.
Yeah.
And like just right back to what I'm going to, like, I wish more people had these type of conversations, because a lot of people, they just bottle it up, because you get comments like this person on Facebook that, man up, get over it, stop complaining and stuff. He's just trying to share what he's trying to share, like Ruben, and then people want to bash him. So a lot of people see that and they get turned off on sharing how they truly feel. They'll just say, oh, they love Mexico, or they just won't say nothing. They'll just keep it to themselves. So I think that's going to be it for this video, and I think that's all the questions that I had for you for this video. I'm sure we'll have plenty of more videos to come in the future. So yeah, so we hope you enjoyed the video, the little conversation we had here, and with that said, we'll catch you on the next one. God bless you.